4:34, let's call this meeting to order. Any considerations of changes, additions, or removal to the agenda?
I'd like to suggest an addition. I had talked to Chris about this. I'd like to get an update from our attorney, who is also Ludlow's attorney, in regards to the merger of the town and the village and the impact or lack of, or how that will affect Ludlow Electric. I think that we all need to understand that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can give some of that if we add an agenda to this meeting.
Well, if you add this to this, may I just say that I know that Brendan is here to talk about the mechanics of it.
Yep.
But I think what Gene is talking about, based on our conversation, is like, what are the ramifications with respect to how Ludlow Electric interacts with the town with respect to like borrowing, or even something as simple as, like cleaning services. Those are things that I think maybe deserve a separate meeting, frankly.
Yeah, I think that might get to a sort of topic that I broached last meeting too, about facilities.
Okay.
And that might be something that we would want to talk to,
Right.
again, talk to the select board about in more detail.
So, but what I'd like to see added is
Just an overview.
I'd like the attorney to give us an update on what I said, how it may impact Ludlow Electric, or how it will, because I'm very optimistic that it will pass, hopefully. So, yeah, so when it does, I want to have a good understanding, and I think the board should as well.
I guess I'm wondering, do you want to add the agenda item to this meeting?
No.
And do you want me and Brendan to
If
talk to you about the mechanics?
If that's already.
Or do you want?
What I want added to the meeting is, to the agenda, it's probably a special meeting.
For
And
next.
invite Sarah either to the next meeting or have a special meeting. I think it's an important item. And I understand too how, the voting process is, but that's good information to have. What I want is to follow up on what Chris said.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
if I may, I think Gene's point is well taken, in the sense that there are two different aspects to this. There's the mechanical aspects of like actually merging the two, and then there's the legal and policy and all the other stuff, procurement and insurance and all that stuff and I think that's what you would like to talk about in a
Yes.
special meeting.
That makes sense.
And I've already told Logan that it seems like the first Thursday in August might work for at least the people I've talked to, and you guys can check your schedule, but if you're amenable to a special meeting, I think it's August 7th. Sarah will be available and will come down and also give her opinion. I think that would be the only thing on the agenda, unless some emergency came about. Not that any emergencies ever come about.
August 7th works for me.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
Is that something we have to vote on, or
Uh,
make a motion for a special meeting, or we'll just call?
No,
we
just
can
warn
just,
it,
we
we
just
just-
post it,
Yeah.
as long as they know you
Yeah, as long
guys
as we
are
do the right warning.
on board, I'll post it. We're
Normal
getting very
time.
good at posting things on time, where they need to be.
Yeah.
Will
So-
it be at 4:30 again?
It would be at 4:30, I think.
So is there anything you wanted to add to the agenda for today?
No.
Or, no, okay.
She just wanted to have that
Just break,
discussion.
okay,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely. Any other considerations, changes, or removal? Okay, we can move on to approval of minutes.
So you should have all gotten the minutes from 6/26 meeting.
Hey, Brett?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for 6/26.
All in favor?
We need a second.
Oh,
I'll second, yeah.
All in
sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of minutes, Pat.
Thank you.
And department managers report, please.
Yeah, so I've got I did the manager's report, and I don't have a copy in front of myself, but that's okay, I got it memorized.
Do you want to?
Maybe I should, so that I can tell you. Thank you, Brett, thank you. Do you want to do that?
No, I got it.
Yeah, you got your own.
I'm short enough.
I know. All right, so the first thing that's really cool is, in terms of the safety issues, we have filled that with Jeff Crosby. He was the most qualified candidate for that job, and truly, and also is internal and brings a lot of benefits to that. He's already tortured the office staff about things we need to do, like checking fire extinguishers and signing off on stuff. So
Oh, great.
I feel like he's embracing the safety aspects of this job. So that's great. Then we had a second candidate, not quite as good as Jeff, but really pretty good as a first-class lineman. And I don't know, do you want to talk about this? He was willing to take the lineman position that Jeff vacated. It's not foreman anymore, it's lineman first class, and he was willing to do that. It's gonna start at the end of August.
And that is?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom Perpino? Chris Perino. Sorry, I got too many Toms. I'm sorry.
There was.
Too many Toms in my head, actually. There have been
It's his
kind of
dad.
floating around. One is sitting right here. This is an inside joke, you wouldn't get that, so it's okay, you're fine. We posted my position for this, working with Tom, who will give you an update on that at the appropriate time in the agenda. We've advertised in a bunch of different places. It seems to be generating interest, which is good. And I think that's fine. I'm going to present to you in a few minutes, when the agenda comes up, a document retention policy, which all public agencies and organizations are supposed to have. Like, how long are you going to keep commercial, records and receipts and payments and documents of all different kinds? We have, when we get to it, I'll talk about it, but basically know that we're asking you guys to approve a document retention policy this evening. I sent that to you earlier in emails. I know Jean asked for a Stonehouse Solar and a chemo battery project update each month. I had a conversation with the chemo battery provider. Truthfully, they're still dealing with Okemo in terms of getting permission to use the land, so nothing has really happened there. I have a call into Ed from Okemo to talk to him about a variety of things this week among them. So he's been on vacation, so I will talk with him and try and get more information. In terms of the Stonehouse Solar, we actually had a view chat with everybody, Teams meeting, and I feel like they are still interested. They want to go forward. They think they're going to be okay with respect to the changes in tariffs and the reduction in federal subsidies for this. But the truth is that if the federal subsidies hit this type of system, I don't think they're going to go forward. And so that's all, obviously that's in the mix right now, and nobody knows what the result's going to be.
What is the timeline on that?
So they have filed their 45-day notice, which means it's 45 days notice to the PUC, the DPS, and adjacent landowners. They did that
June 17th.
June 17th. Thank you very much. Glad these guys were on a call. So 45 days from then is when the PUC needs to decide how they want to proceed with this process. And those guys are also, they're prepared to submit a certificate of public good application after that 45 days. So probably, you know, little August something, they'll submit it. You know, the fact that PUC approves it doesn't mean it gets built, because of all the other stuff going on. So we'll have to see what happens. Let's see, the other thing I guess I would say is, I'm sure I've told you that the Department of Public Service really hates a residential demand rate thing. I mean, it was appropriate in the 70s when people were like using electricity for, you know, electric baseboard heat, not, you know, resistor heat, and not something efficient. But as we've transitioned to other uses of electricity, this becomes more and more problematic. We did meet with them, talked to them about it. They agreed that the best process would be a waiver request of that, at least for the electric vehicles. So we figure out who's got an electric vehicle and we bump them back down to residential level 1. Didn't quite write the letter that way, so I apologize for that. The chemo people watching, sorry, it's a little broader than that. It looks like I'm asking them to waive the entire R3 residential demand with tariff and move it all to R1. We'll see what they say. But I think this is consistent with where they would like us to go, and also consistent with where I've heard you all want to go in terms of like making sure we're being fair to people who invested in electric cars. If that triggers them into the residential demand rate and they're there for 12 months, you know, well, they are calling and saying, why? Why is this happening? So we're trying to make these policies consistent. Let's see, we are starting the rate case, and there is a schedule which I provided to you all too, I think. Maybe not, here it is. We should pass that out for them. Thank you. Here's a schedule, and today we were supposed to receive the first round of questions from the Department of Public Service to us, and to my knowledge, those did not come in today. So we'll keep you informed, but it'll be interesting to see how they respond, particularly with respect to the fact that they want us to get rid of the residential demand rate, but they don't want us to actually, you know, increase rates as much as we want to increase rates, and that is above and beyond what we've asked for. So it'll be interesting to see how this all proceeds. I think for there, I'll stop and ask if you guys have any questions. Just for your files, I don't know.
I don't have questions.
No. Okay. Any questions, Logan?
No,
Okay.
thanks. That answered a lot of what I was thinking to ask.
Good, that's always
So,
good.
We can move on. Outside Operation Managers Report.
Okay, streetlights were none, meter readings in progress for the month, substation maintenance, monthly checks, scheduling of regs for Howard Barton Jr. and the reclosure for Smithville still in the process. Underground locates 18, 0 outages for the month, 3 service upgrades. The DCUs for the AMI meters are all up, programmed and running. Relocate Pond Street for culvert replacement by the state. Our portion's done except for pulling the pole. TDS has cut theirs over, or awaiting Comcast to cut theirs over. The new truck is lettered, registered, inspected, all legal.
And we didn't, Lisa and I did not crash it on the way back from Lebanon, so that's a good thing.
Safety meeting
Yes,
top.
that's a positive.
Safety meeting topic was meter safety and regulators. Shop office maintenance was mowing, weed control of office shops and subs. And we have seen some activity that the AMI meters are on their way.
And
We have a storage container for them.
That's what I was gonna say.
Is that all of the AMI meters or just the
Yeah.
first? It is.
We're getting
yeah.
all of them at one shot, or maybe 2 shots, but close, right?
Yeah.
And so you've actually got the storage container on site at this point? We decided to buy a storage container, like, shipping container that's lockable to put that stuff in, and that would be the most accessible to them. And it was relatively inexpensive, and we can resell it, which is great, or keep it for other stuff. For bad employees, you could put
So
them.
is there an estimated time frame for base?
So the meters should be, they didn't give us a delivery date, but they did ask for confirmation on shipping address
Okay,
this week, so the scheduled point was we would see some in August and the rest of them in beginning of September. So then we've got to do all of our notifications and our letters to the, and then, it's gonna be, I'm guessing probably about a 6-month process of swapping meters.
And those letters, they gave people the option to.
Correct. They get the
Yes
option
or
to
no.
opt out
Yeah.
of this, and, 2 to 3% might do it at first, and then it whittles down over the years. GMP's experience was that I think they got 3% saying no because of the height of it, and then I think it's down to 1% or lower right now. So I think you should expect some pushback, but I think the experience is that it resolves itself over
It's been
time.
out long enough now that people
Yeah.
Yeah,
are a little more comfortable with it.
right, and it's all based off of basically,
Yeah, I mean, I did propose
Radio
to
or whatever it is.
Brett, you gotta stop me from talking sometimes. But I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this, I did propose to Brett that we get stickers that you put on the meters that say, please don't lick the meter.
oh my heavens. What?
Don't write that down, please.
Don't write.
so.
Because.
That was a joke.
I was gonna say the no
Yeah.
5G something.
Right.
I'm gonna take that out.
No.
Because people are concerned about the electromagnetic radiation, and yet your cell phone is like 5 times more powerful.
We all
This is
know
not.
this.
Right.
So anyway, that's the point. Sorry, Alicia.
So maybe it's too early on, but have you considered what impact this is going to have on existing operations in and outside?
Right. I think we're working on that, but Brett, do you
Okay.
have any thoughts on this at the moment? In other words, if you don't have to physically read the meters
Right.
every month, what?
You're not gonna physically have the reading meters, we're still gonna have follow-ups. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of, for the first couple of years, you're gonna have a lot of follow-up stuff. You're gonna have
Okay.
issues, you're gonna have to deal with stuff. One of the big downfalls of the automated meter reading is we're not gonna see the trouble areas reading meters. When we're out there reading every month, they're looking and seeing, is there a tree on the line, or is
Yeah,
there?
we need to do some cutting.
Right.
So if we
Not
don't
out there.
take at some point, whether we probably don't have to do it every month, but every other month, we're gonna have to physically still run around and check some stuff, because if we don't, then your overtime and your call-outs are gonna increase over a period of time.
Mhm.
I like that, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
It does
but-
make sense.
Yeah, if you
And-
did it like a quadrant or like sector.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there is
Some sort of run
there's a
around.
lot of maintenance and updating that needs to be done over the next few years. It's really been overlooked. I mean, there's some line replacements
Yeah.
and the state's got some more. I met with the state today on some culvert projects down by La Valleys and Freedom Hill. Some line renovations that we're gonna have to do down there for those projects. They don't think it'll happen next year, but probably
Yeah.
2027.
Yeah, I saw those on the calendar, on the STIP calendar.
So there's some there, and they say, we end up with a solar project. My plan is to build as much of that line ourselves versus subbing it out.
Is all that stuff in the GIS system?
Not quite, we're getting better.
No, we're working on that.
We are working on
That's
that.
where Chris, I think, is gonna come in handy, because he dealt with a lot of, he was in the engineering side when he first started with CBPS.
All right,
And Chris, not this.
yeah.
Just to make
That's good.
clear, I'm not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because we still gotta get all the DCEs all documented into the GIS. I mean, the GIS has still got probably
Yeah,
6-8 months left.
Yeah,
to
no,
get it up and running.
mostly just a curiosity how we're using it. I know you kind of use it for those
Brian's
work order
been doing it,
systems.
you know, kind of incrementally and working on it, and but it is it's a lot of work to get it, like, once and for all, kind of up to date, and then keeping it up to date will be less problematic over time.
Will the meters, how will that change administrative support, or will it in the office? I mean,
Well,
is it,
Well, I don't know, are those gonna physically go to us?
Well,
for readings?
electronically, yeah, they will go to us, and then we'll just produce a bill from them. How automated we can make it, which is kind of how I'm interpreting your question, I don't know yet.
okay,
I don't think I know.
just, okay.
Yeah, no, it's fair, it's a very fair question.
Because it's an upgrade, so we should see some
Right,
kind
right.
of change
Right, what I see,
related to that.
what I see is at the moment.
So it's not so manual,
Right.
yeah, much more
What I see at
efficient.
the moment is, these guys are gonna get a lot of relief. But when those things come into the office, they're still gonna be processed as bills, but I don't know how automated we can make that.
Okay.
So I think there's a benefit there too, but it's gonna be,
You're not gonna have meters come in thinking they were misread. I mean, whatever they come in
Yeah, they're
at,
gonna-
they're gonna
right.
be,
They're gonna be,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
which will save time in the office.
save time in the office.
Well, and for you too,
Yeah,
going
on the
back out.
outside.
yeah, not having to go back out, not
Yeah.
having to, like, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
thanks.
I have a question, Brett, about those, about the outlets on the bridges. Is that something we're still on the docket
Oh,
of
I haven't
things?
seen anything of what they're looking for. I need to see what they are looking for.
Okay.
What they want for lights, what they're
Exactly,
thinking.
what brand, what everything,
And
okay.
where, you know.
All
where
right,
we
I'll send
need
them an
stuff-
email and find that
stuff
out.
at.
I'll forward it on to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brett, would you be able to send me yours?
Oh,
So I can
yeah,
encapsulate
I forgot
it.
to copy it. Sorry, I will.
How long have I been bugging you?
You know what it tells.
Okay, but for the record, I sent you the stuff, right?
No, I did not get the department manager's reports.
Oh, no.
I got this and the,
Okay, so forgive me for trying to like demonstrate my superiority in terms of providing stuff, because I was like.
You were so confident too. Yeah.
Didn't do it.
where's Brett? I get overlooked.
Better luck next time.
Where's Brett?
All right. Department manager's position,
Yep.
status so far. We'll give you the floor, contractor Tom.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good seeing you all again.
Yes, you too.
So we placed ads in all the areas that we intended to place ads. We may do some more. And I gave you a breakdown of where we placed the ads. It's kind of a shotgun approach, you know, we just sprayed the advertisement everywhere that we thought would be something that we could generate some interest. And so we placed it at 5 municipal associations, 2 local newspapers, 3 power associations, LinkedIn, it's on Chris's profile, my profile. And it's been a joint effort because some of these things, you guys can only place the ads like with Vermont League of Cities and Towns, because you're a member, and that's free, and I think with the powers
Some of the powers
associations, the same kind of thing. I've reached out to privately owned line companies to see if I can just get the word out to people that work in this field, that, you know, may not be associated with a municipality, as well as, let's see, all the municipal utilities. And I think everybody kind of knows this is going on, that, you know, in these municipal utilities in the state and the co-ops. But I spent a little time sending them information and trying to make personal contacts. I'm forgetting is it VPPSA?
Yeah, VEPSA.
Yeah.
They had a job board. I sent it to Ken Nolan. He's posted it on their job board. NEPA has a job board, the Public Power Association, and NEPA, not that you have enough acronyms, but the New England Public Power Association also had a job board, so we've gotten that on all three of those.
So I've reached out to a couple personal contacts in the municipal world and in the utility world. I think we'll see at least one resume from that. And I'm going to continue to do more of that. So next steps, well, any questions
Well, Tom,
up to that
I
point?
was gonna ask, could you tell the board, like roughly, how many resumes have we received, and how many do you think kind of have potential, just roughly? I know we're not there yet, but.
Yeah. Well, we have 8, and I think there are 3 now that have experience. Not exactly the experience and qualifications that we put on the ad. You know, we made the ad, put a pretty high bar, and which you always want to do. And not all applicants will reach that. And then, you know, just once we have reach the August 10th resume due date, you know, then we'll really assess what we have. And certainly in the interview process, is a real eye-opener many times, you know. It depends, you know, you find somebody that's really, really the right personality, you know. They may not have the exact skill set or experience, you know, like we have 10 years of experience, which is quite a bit. And it'd be great to get somebody like that. But if you find somebody with 8 and their perfect personality that is going to work really well, that's somebody that, you know, we're all going to really want to take a close look at. Any questions up to that point? So next steps, we'll continue to collect resumes and make more direct contacts. I think with 8 resumes and with 3 that have good experience, that's really, I think it's something that I need to continue to do and work that pretty hard. You know, like sometimes people really don't know how to, they want to change jobs, but they really don't know how to do it. So if you get the word out, and that's what I'll be doing. That, you know, this is an opening, and it's a good job. It's a great job. So.
Well, if you end up with a new department manager and then everybody else has left because of your guidance for how to get a new job, that's going to be a real problem. I'm just saying.
I'm not writing anything.
Thank you, Alicia. You're starting to get to know me. Unfortunately, it's going to be on TV, but I can't help it. It is what it is.
Well, so many people watch it anyway.
That's,
right.
I'll take my chances. It's okay.
I don't know. I watch them.
I watch
them
Does
all the
anybody
time.
else? I don't know.
All right, well, let me know how this comes across.
Yes, sure.
All right, so as we approach the August 10th cutoff date, I'll be pre-screening people that look good on paper, make sure that they are in fact somebody that you folks will want to take a closer look at. And then some of these steps that I put in here, I think we kind of touched on them the last time, but we really didn't put them in black and white. And I must admit that Chris and I haven't discussed these, so he may take exception to a couple points as we go forward. But I think, and the board and the commission may as well take exception, but, and if so, let's talk about it. So, what we talked about last month when I was here is that the staff and myself would interview approximately the top 5 candidates. And then at that point, we would provide all the resumes to the commissioners. And then probably have a meeting to talk about where we're going to go from there.
I just have a question regarding staff. You mean Chris and Brett, I think.
Yes.
Is that-
I think
okay.
primarily, I think we can talk about that.
Okay.
But the concept was the executive committee, which you can look at the organization
Okay.
chart and see what that includes. But we can talk about it.
Bless you.
And, bless you. And also, I think what Tom is kind of maybe dancing around a little bit, so in terms of change of the procedure here a little bit, is we did propose that it be done at the staff level first. But I think, Tom, now that you may disagree with this, but I'm thinking, once we select who we want to screen, who we want to do the first round of interviews for, I think we should send all the resumes to you guys at that point, so you can see who we selected, who we didn't. Does that work okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's just feeling like, I don't want you to think that we're, interviewing 3 to 5 people and you're not gonna see like what the range was and why we chose them. So I think that makes sense. And then you can go on to the second round, just like what you're proposing for the second round, or do you want me just
I don't think I discussed that. I had a feeling.
it just brings it back to you guys so that you're involved, however many of you want to be involved in a second interview, schedule. So.
Yeah, I got the impression that last meeting, at least 2 of you wanted to be involved.
I think all 3 of us.
Or all
yeah.
3 of you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's typical. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are the hiring authority, and this
Right.
person's gonna report to you, so you
Right.
have to know that there's a good connection and that you guys
Yeah.
really fit together.
So as far as like qualifications and such, and like you were saying, some may be more qualified, but less
Yeah, we
better for the
asked
job.
we asked for quite a bit.
One of the, I think, main things I think we would all be looking for is someone that is going to cohesively work well together between the shop and the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because that's something we've worked really hard on,
Agreed, and I would hate to see that, like, undone.
all that
or
we've done
fall
so
apart,
far,
right?
yeah. So I think that's like one of our really big points is that communication level between the two is something we really need to
Yeah.
keep our eyes on,
Yeah. Yeah, not backsliding.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because Brett's having a lot of fun now.
It's all the fun, all of the fun.
Exactly, we're all doing great. No, we are, actually, I feel it really good.
Well, where we've come in the last
How-
year is,
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like we've made a lot of progress.
A
In my
lot.
time on this table.
So I think that's like one of the big things we're really gonna, I would like to be focused on is.
Right, and, I will say that sounds like some of the applicants are kind of change makers, and some of them are like cohesive growers, and so it's really gonna require you all to think about that type of thing, like what do you want in a person, because you know, not that we get him, but I don't think an Elon Musk would work very well here right now.
I'm not.
Besides, we're still working to try and get him to Mars, so anyway.
Unavailable.
Unavailable.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are the, Shannon, what you were just talking about, that's the kind of things where we can create a real-life scenario,
Yeah,
you know, a little history during the interview process, a
Yeah.
little history, and then a related question. You know, this is what's happened in the last year, this is what was going on 2 years ago, this is what's happened in the last year. How are you going to handle it from your first day on the job in terms of organizational cohesiveness,
yeah,
you know? And it'll be a real eye-opener how they respond. You know,
Yeah.
you'll see right away whether you're dealing with somebody that's a professional manager or not.
right.
And you obviously are seeking that.
Right.
That makes sense. So, process-wise, we're talking about, I mean, we'll get all of the resumes, you'll review the resumes, you'll kind of put a star or an asterisk on the few that you want to interview,
Mhm.
then you'll send them to us.
Right.
And so we'll see them before you schedule interviews, but sort of after you've made a decision on who you intend to.
Yes, and then, so you know, procedurally, Tom is, whenever we get a resume, and Tom is acknowledging that, to tell him that, and to tell him we won't be making any decision before August 10th, so
Yep.
don't worry, so, right?
Yeah,
So
don't expect to hear back from
Right.
us. Yeah,
I think we are gonna ask, well, maybe we could send them to you August 8th or August 9th and just
Sure.
augment it with something else or something like that, but I do wanna be pretty, I think we both wanna move this forward, so once August 10th occurs, I don't want a week to go by while you decide whether it's okay to interview the people we suggested, right? Because we're gonna have
Oh,
to
no, I
call them,
wasn't, yeah.
schedule them, so I know you guys are not like that, so.
No, I'm not expecting, I like that timeline. I like that you're gonna make the decisions, you're just gonna keep us kind of posted on which of these you expect. And if anybody jumps out of this, like,
Right.
that, like, why are we not interviewing this person? There is a window there for us to kind of maybe reach out to you, but you're not
Yeah.
gonna wait for that.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Can I say one other thing, is that I know this is closer to September than maybe we wanted it to go, right? We were trying to start this maybe a month earlier, but I think we're pretty much on schedule. But should this not be able to be resolved by the end of September, I am committed to staying with you guys until that transition occurs, so I don't want you to think that
Thank you.
I'm just gonna, like,
Skedaddle.
skedaddle, shut the door.
How long do you plan on staying on and helping integrate them into the job
I
position?
was originally thinking 2 months, now I'm thinking maybe a month would work. It's up to you all, of course, but I think a month would work fine. And then, you know, if there are other projects or things that you feel like I could help with, I'm happy to do that. But, yeah, this was always intended to be an interim, to be able to support a new department manager at some point, and I think that's kind of where we are.
I think if you hire the right person, that person not even going to need you for a month.
Want me, is the question, I know,
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
not want me.
Those
And
are
that,
good too,
that's a
yeah.
possibility too, is they say, look, if I'm gonna start this job,
Let's just
I
start.
really don't want any baggage from procedure, I mean, I could still have conversations
And
with
having a
them, but-
phone, being available. is
Exactly, and I
different,
don't need to
yeah.
be
But-
physically, present or annoying them or making them
Because
feel like this.
I would think at this level and the kind of person that we're likely to get is probably going to feel like they can go with it.
I hope so, and I think that's
Yeah,
probably true.
yeah, I think a month is plenty and maybe.
Or maybe not needed,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
And
yeah.
I'm amenable to either of those scenarios.
See who we get.
Yeah,
Right. If I have to be here for 6 more months, you chose the wrong candidate. That's how it is.
yeah, then we go back to the drawing board. Thank you. Fair enough.
Was there anything else with that, Tom?
No,
Any other
anything else
questions?
that
No, it's
you folks want to bring up?
Okay.
It's a fluid situation as we're
Yeah.
going, so. But
Good work.
it'll work well.
Yeah, appreciate the help, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, well, I shall depart if you have nothing else.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for coming
thank you.
down, Tom. Nice to
You're
see you
welcome.
again.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yes, you will. Okay, we can move on to document retention policy for consideration and approval.
Yeah, so this was sent to you Monday or Tuesday, I think, originally as a draft, but we realized that as a public entity, we are supposed to have a records retention and destruction policy. It is governed by the state of Vermont and the federal energy, FERC, Federal Energy Resource Regulatory Commission. Thank you, Michael. We took the most stringent of those two, so it's different pieces and things, but it basically covers the policy of making sure records are available for people, describes the records covered, and then there's a different schedule for different types of records, right? There are some that are permanent. There are some that are pretty long-term, 25 years, things like that for construction documents. And there are some that are relatively short, including, things down to 7 years. I don't think there are some 5-year things for insurance policies, things like that, but I think everything is 5 years or over. But I know this looks like a retention policy, but what it actually is enabling us to destroy documents that are older than this in these categories. Brett's got quite a few, we got quite a few. We won't talk about what's down in the basement. And so we would like to establish this policy so that we can actually implement it consistent with the law.
And we've talked about that before, about hiring a company that come in and
To
shred.
make sure that we
We have
fully dispose.
done that, we're doing that. Michael actually has been going down and separating records to, for things that we need to retain and things we can get rid of.
Thank you.
If you want more detail in executive session, we can talk about it, but I don't think now is a good time to do it. So, anyway, this policy would enable us and Brett to go through the files and get rid of stuff that is way, way, way too old. So,
I'll make the motion to approve the policy. You put it together. You're recommending it.
yeah.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that. I will say I see some relatively minor,
Okay, please.
Scrivener's errors
Yeah,
level
please
things.
provide those are fine.
Just typos.
And- Yeah, no, happy to, if you're willing to amend your motion to allow us to make corrections that
Okay.
he sees that aren't
I'll
substantive,
admit
that aren't substantive.
Okay.
Non-substantive,
Happy to do
yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, otherwise, it's, yeah, that's
Right.
fine.
Okay. Second.
You
I
amended.
made the motion, amended the motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Cool, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Um,
putting that together.
Based on the Scrivener's error thing, you may not want to do this. I have a clean version that you can sign. It depends. Do you have anything on the third page that you wanted to correct?
Well, it's.
All right.
Scrivener's
So-
errors that
Understood.
aren't editable anyway.
Right.
Yes, they are. All right, we'll move on to the status of the personnel manual.
Oh, was that, did I actually put that on the agenda?
It did.
Bummer. It's about where it was last month. I apologize. We were doing the hiring stuff and all those things, and not much work got done on that. So I'm afraid we're a month behind on that too. I will try and get that to you, certainly, well before the next meeting, so you have a chance to look at it. If I had it done today, it would have just been to present you the draft and ask you to think about it over the next month. I'll still try and catch up on that, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Is there anything you wanted to say about personnel manual or?
Until we get it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Nobody wants to yell at me or anything?
Uh,
Good, thank you.
That's after the
Yeah,
meeting.
let's,
After the meeting.
Okay, so at this point, we'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll now ask everyone to leave the room, except for Brett and Chris, you two are
Okay,
staying,
thank you.
please. Okay.